Welcome to Get It Right. My name is Susan Mwangi. Today we are discussing about horticulture farming, our focus being on tomato farming. And with us is Joseph Ongeri, who is an agronomy consultant at Greenwise Innovator. Okeri Joseph, welcome to Get It Right.
Thanks, welcome.
Yes, tell us more about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Joseph Ongeri, as you have said. I'm an agronomist consultant. I work with a private company known as Greenwise Innovators. This is a company comprising of a number of experts on agriculture, starting from the building experts of greenhouses to the experts on agronomy. Yes.
So for how long have you been doing this?
Myself, in the field, I've been there for 15 years.
So let's look at tomato farming in Kenya. What are the conditions necessary for this particular type of farming?
Yeah, tomato has really been a field that everybody wants to do, but most people have been going wrong. Thanks for that question. Tomato can do anywhere, except in few cases. When I come to the side of the soil, tomato does well on loamy sand soil, well drained. But then it can do on several other soils, except the heavy clay soil or the cotton soil. But on several other soils, it can do well. When I come to the rainfall, tomato can do almost in every other amount of rainfall, but well spread and moderate rainfall is where our tomato can do well.
Okay.
Yes.
And looking at Kenya, what are more favorable regions that will the tomato will thrive?
Yeah, when I look at Kenya, almost 80% of our area in Kenya is favorable for tomato farming. But you find in few cases, if I can mention a few, places like Oloitoktok, places like Narok, central part of Kenya. You go to the lake region along the Siaya area. That's the place where maybe I can say it's doing well there because of the aspiration of the population, the people living there. But our soils are very viable, Susan. Anywhere can do well. You go to Machakos, it's very dry. We have farmers who are doing farming there of tomatoes. So almost everywhere in Kenya, if we decide to do farming, it's viable, except on few cases of very heavy clay soils and cotton soils, which are very few cases in Kenya. Yeah.
Maybe we can look at our markets here in Nairobi. Where do our tomato mostly come from?
Yeah, in fact, the places I've mentioned, our tomato in Nairobi comes from the central part of Kenya. Some come from Narok, some come from Oloitoktok. But still you realize that we even need more.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So how many varieties of tomatoes do we have in Kenya?
We have, if I can start from the type of tomatoes before I come to the varieties.
Okay.
We have two types of types. We have two types of tomatoes. We have the indeterminate type and the determinate type. The indeterminate type is the type of the tomato that grows higher and higher without reaching the end. So it's if you grow it in the greenhouse and you have your apex is you to control the length. Then the determinate, they push the short ones. So, but the varieties, we have two varieties.
Okay.
We have the F1s, that is the hybrids. Then we have the open pollinated varieties. There are two. So we have several number of varieties. The hybrids, the F1s, and then the open pollinated varieties. So we have two.
Okay, and
Yeah.
what are the most viable varieties of this that you have mentioned? The one that you would even encourage farmers to consider?
Yeah, the F1s are doing well because they have been developed and characterized depending on the need of the farmer.
Yes.
So the need of the farmer could be out of the challenges the farmer is getting, the diseases, the pests, the shelf life. So the breeders have collected data from the farmers, their needs, then they have tried to produce a variety that favors or suits them. So I can say the F1s are doing better.
Oh, the F1s are doing better.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That is good to know.
Yeah.
Let's look at the different methods of which we can grow tomato, different farming methods of growing tomatoes.
Yeah. Yeah, Susan, I can say we have about 3 methods. The first one can be maybe the grafted one.
Yes.
We graft the tomatoes, the grafted one. Then we come to hydroponic farming method, where we use the planting bags. And then we use the trip lines. Then we have another method, we plant on the soil. So we have the 3 methods. So this one can be done in the greenhouse. So we have also the outdoor farming, where we do it on the soil. So we have the hydroponics, and then the one done on the soil, in the greenhouses, then the outdoor. Yes.
And for the farmers who are looking at starting growing tomatoes, what are the elements they should consider before settling in for any particular method?
Yes, this is where most farmers go wrong. A farmer feels he wants to become a farmer.
Yes.
Then the first thing he thinks of is looking for capital. He gets capital, he looks for land, then he enters into business. Within a short time, this person quits the business.
Yes.
And this is where most farmers go wrong. And that's why, in fact, the farming activity is losing meaning in Kenya. We lack the relevant information. So if I can advise the beginners of tomato farming, 1, they should plan to start small.
Okay.
2, they should look for knowledge first. The knowledge which we have, the knowledge which the government has. If you look around, we have experts all over. We have experts from Amiran, Bayer, from the government, the CARI. So first of all, the farmer should look for information. After that, then he should start from up going backwards.
Okay.
Up, I mean from the market.
Okay.
Goes to the market, finds out the requirements. Some markets, for example, Susan, needs small-sized tomatoes. Others, like supermarkets, they need large,
The large size.
the large ones,
Yes.
the large sizes. So when you want to start the farming, you should first of all ask yourself, where is my market? And what are the requirements of my market? So if your market really needs big-sized tomatoes, you go to the breeder and ask which one can do on my area. Then do the soil testing. So sometimes we just go to the farming, you have the land, but you even don't understand your soil. So I'll always advise the farmer to start with the market, then go understand about the soil. What are the elements in his soil? What is the pH of the soil? Then,
Okay, maybe just a bit on that.
Yes.
Who is supposed to help the farmer understand the soil type that is found in their regions?
is the expert, Susan. So that's why I'm saying you don't go all alone. The farmer doesn't need to go alone. He needs to go alongside with the expert.
With an expert,
The
yes.
expert will give the information that you need to understand your soil, the source of your water, then what is in your soil and what your soil is missing. Then from there, this expert is going to advise the farmer even on the nutrition. He's going to advise on the farmer what to add and not what to add on his regime programs. Yes.
Okay, you mentioned and said that farmers should also consider to start small.
Yeah.
What exactly do you mean by that? What is
Yes.
starting small?
That's why I said, you realize, Susan, that in Kenya, most farmers, the average age of farmers is 60 years. But the average consumer of farmers, the average age of consumers, it's about 17 and 20 years. So these aged people is just pumps the money into the business.
Yes.
Without experience, he gets challenges, then all of a sudden he quits the business. I think there is a learning curve in anything we do. That learning curve should be done small. I can't really say small means 1 acre or 2 acres. But an acre is okay if you are able to do that. Half an acre is okay. So you will learn about the pests. You will learn about the diseases. You will learn about the relevant agrochemicals to apply. You will learn about the market. You will have contact with your market. So by doing so, this will be your learning curve by that small size. That means by the time you enter fully into commercial, you would have had where to offload even your products.
Okay.
Yes.
That is very insightful.
Yes.
Let's discuss greenhouse tomato farming.
Yeah. First of all, the greenhouse. The greenhouse is a set room where we are able to control the microclimate inside the greenhouse.
Yes.
The plant itself has got requirements on temperature and on humidity. So when we are doing our activities in the greenhouse, our major aim is to control the climate inside the greenhouse such that it can suit the requirements of the tomato or any other crop that we need. But in this case, our crop, tomato, needs about a range of 21 to 27 degrees temperature.
Okay.
Then it's about a humidity of 65%.
Okay.
So the greenhouse helps us to attain this.
Okay.
Another reason why we do the greenhouse, this is an enclosed area, but it's able to get the parameters we have discussed. This enclosed area means we are able to protect the crop from the pests.
Yes.
So we are very free from the pests. Then we are able to do within a small area, we're able to control the feeding, we're able to control even the amount of water through drip irrigation. In fact, we use very little water in the greenhouse as compared to the outdoor, to the open field. So inside the greenhouse, we are able to control our parameters, the agricultural parameters. It becomes even cheaper to farm in the greenhouse. In fact, most farmers can say it's an expensive way of doing this business, but it's not. It's only expensive in the beginning, but on the long run, the business becomes even cheaper. So if I come back to your question, that in the greenhouse farming, we first of all have to know, in this greenhouse, is it the first time we are planting tomatoes?
Okay, so maybe we need to take a short break, and when we come back, I would want us to discuss about the disadvantages of greenhouse, because you mentioned that you're able to control pests and diseases.
Yeah.
I have walked into greenhouses where I have found crops attacked by these pests and these diseases.
Yes.
So we will be taking a short break, but don't go too far. We will be back in a short while.